We need a plan that will say, here's how we'll get from here to there by bicycle.
Cyclists belong on the road.
So you can be completely environmentally friendly.
I like the idea I can get up on Saturday mornings and ride to breakfast.
Trailways are getting more extensive. It's good for the soul.
It's awesome to see groups just waiting at a light.
The idea of the Bicentennial Bikeways plan is to give the city a pathway, a document that will address how we expand bicycling in the city of Columbus. That means bike paths, that means roadway improvements, that means signage changes. It means changing our culture, but we need the infrastructure to do it.
Well, the Bicentennial Bikeways plan is a roadmap for the city of Columbus for improving bicycle accommodation for the next 20 plus years. And it's all about the 4 E's: education, enforcement, engagement, and of course engineering. The city partners with many other government entities on implementing the Bicentennial Bikeways plan. Those include MORPC, the surrounding suburbs, Franklin County, ODOT, as well as CODA, and of course our own sister agencies here at the City of Columbus, including the Department of Recreation and Parks and the Department of Public Health.
We've had a close relationship at Recreation and Parks with MORPC for a number of years. Number one, they are the federal granting authority for our local transportation enhancement funds. And to their credit, what they have done for several funding cycles is work hard on bikeways.
We formed an advisory committee, and that advisory committee went out and surveyed the entire city of Columbus to take a look at the roads, to take a look at the bike paths, to take a look at the existing conditions to see what we needed to do to make improvements in the city.
Times have changed in 5 to 8 years, but the very important piece was that bottom, that grassroots advocacy movement that's pushing all those elected officials and engineers and planners to understand what's really happening from the people that have their butts on the bikes.
What's been happening in Columbus for the past 100 years is that we get in the car, drive to our place of employment, get out of that car in a parking lot, go to work, and then get back in the car and go home.
The city's active living initiative really lines up well with Mayor Michael B. Coleman's Bicentennial Bikeways plan. Biking is one of the best ways that people can be physically active. Biking is good for the body, it's good for the environment, it's good for the soul.
I would say most trips are going to be a mile or less, but I try to get on it every day. And so it's not necessarily going to be a half-hour cardio workout for me, but you're getting a lot of, work on your thighs and getting the heart going. I think that's, the key to long-term health is a little bit of activity on a regular basis so that it's integrated into your life.
Columbus has one of the highest rates of obesity and other health issues. And merely by riding a bicycle and exercising on a consistent basis, it helps address that problem right there. It is also an opportunity to be green, an opportunity to do something other than driving a car. We're a very car-focused culture in the city of Columbus. We need to get away from it and begin to explore alternative forms of transportation, which includes bicycling. And the third reason is because it's family friendly. It's an opportunity for families and children and parents to do things together. And when families do things together, like recreate together, like riding a bike together, they become a closer knit family. And as a result, the city of Columbus is a better place to live, work, and to raise a family.
I think it says a lot when millions of dollars allocated to multimodal transportation, bicycles, in the bikeway paths over the next few years. I think that says a lot. I think it speaks volumes here in the city of Columbus.
Consider looking through the work of Ohio State Fisher School of Business actually also created a calculator that signifies or quantifies the bottom line return on investment for cycling for a business. And that's what's opening up these business leaders' eyes, going that, wow, if we invest in a few bike racks and the flex time and a few incentives and encouragement for people to ride their bikes, we're going to be better off as a business.
But within our region, they understand that bicycling makes Central Ohio economically competitive against folks like Chicago, Washington, D.C., New York, Boulder, Colorado.
We can actually ride a bicycle to work, and our employers and our CEOs and our vice presidents and the senior leadership of our businesses and the rank and file of all these businesses have an option here. And the option is to ride a bike. And the goal with the 2 by 2012 is to ride a bicycle to work at least twice a month by 2012. I support this concept, and I do it myself, and we'll do it by then especially. I'm an avid cyclist. I love riding a bicycle. But you know, it takes more than government, it takes business to understand that it improves the quality of life of the employee base when they're able to ride a bicycle to work. And the biggest partner we can have is a cyclist. The biggest partner we can have in our neighborhoods. And what happens with bikeways, cycling in our neighborhoods actually see this grand improvement. And they actually become better areas to be in when you have connectivity in between neighborhoods by bicycles.
When we look at some of our heavily traveled corridors with bicyclists, for instance, up and down High Street, we see a culture of integration and acceptance. Other areas, it's a little tougher, and we know that we need to get more cyclists on roads, that motorists understand we have the right to be there and can integrate safely. Well, the City of Columbus has done Sharos, and it's done a Share the Road campaign. We've done bike maps for bicyclists to steer them toward roadways that are safer for less experienced bicyclists. It's about building bike racks. It's about paving roadways and striping them for bike lanes, as well as experimental items like the Milton Avenue Bike Box, which is at the intersection of Milton Avenue and East North Broadway. It's about improving the overall knowledge of where bicyclists can go today and where they can go tomorrow as the city makes more accommodation on its roadways for bicyclists.
The bike has the law behind them if they take the lane, if they can't be safely passed within that lane of travel. And they don't have to ride, you know, within a foot of the right side of the roadway or anything like that. There's no rule requiring that. They need to be over to the right and allow cars to pass them, but you don't have to get into a danger spot. They don't have to compromise their own safety is the way the law reads, basically. They don't compromise their safety for a car to pass them. They are allowed to ride two abreast if need be. Don't have to yield, and get in a single lane if they don't want to. It's kind of like you see two motorcycles times in a lane. That's legal, and a bike might need to move away from the right edge of the road. That is allowed by law. The bikes are allowed to move away from an obstacle that might present itself to them, and that might not always be the same kind of an obstacle that a car, but a big rut in the road, glass in the road, gravel, sand, all of those different obstacles that a biker might see in their lane or anywhere in that traveling lane, they're allowed to avoid.
The code change in 2008 clarified that bicyclists are allowed on the road and able to control the lane. That's important, and it allows us as bike educators to tell our people, yes, you can feel safe out here on the road, intermingling and integrating with traffic.
By and large, we've got really good people with solid values behind the handlebars or behind the wheels, trying to get from point A to B as safely as possible.
This is my vehicle, so it's a car to me. So I want to be able to park it safely, so I like that idea. I like the idea I can get up on Saturday mornings and ride to breakfast and keep on riding, or ride to lunch, or ride downtown to have dinner. I like that. I like that freedom.
And this plan will identify how we execute the idea of becoming the most important bicycle city in the country.
Residents can view the Bicentennial Bikeways plan online on the city's website. Just go to www.columbus.gov and look for the Department of Public Service.